For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Ketanji Brown Jackson was sworn in as the Supreme Court's 116th Justice Thursday. The swearing-in ceremony shattered a glass ceiling as Jackson became the first black woman to serve as the nation's highest court. She's joining three other women, Justices Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Amy Coney Barrett. It's the first time four women will serve together on the 9-member court. In a blow to the fight against climate change, the Supreme Court limited how the nation's main anti-air pollution law can be used to reduce carbon dioxide emissions from power plants. The 6-3 vote said the Clean Air Act does not give the Environmental Protection Agency broad authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from power plants that contribute to global warming. Christopher Martinez reports.
In the majority opinion, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote that the regulation in question might be sensible, but the EPA does not have the power to adopt the rule because of what's called the major questions doctrine. That is a once obscure idea that agencies need special authorization from Congress if a regulation deals with an issue of economic and political significance. Leah Littman is an assistant professor at the University of Michigan Law School.
And the reality is that standard in the hands of the 6-3, Republican appointees court is a huge deregulatory tool. These justices were appointed by a party that has long fought, the regulation of industries and climate regulation in particular. And so, of course, many policies tackling climate change are likely to strike this court as extraordinary or major.
Climate activists see the ruling as part of a broader attack on climate action, but they don't want people to feel hopeless because there are many climate actions that can be taken by the EPA, by state and local governments, and especially by Congress if it chooses to act.
There is so much more work to be done that the Supreme Court cannot affect.
Reporting for Pacifica Radio News KPFA, I'm Christopher Martinez.
In another ruling, the Supreme Court sided with the Biden administration, saying it could scrap the Trump-era Remain in Mexico policy that forces asylum seekers to wait in Mexico until their asylum hearings can be heard in U.S. immigration courts.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! And if we don't get it, shut it down!
Hundreds of people shut down street access outside the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. yesterday to protest the overturning of Roe v. Wade and the right to abortion access. Police report they arrested 187 people. Among them was Congresswoman Democrat Judy Chu of Southern California, sponsor of the Women's Health Protection Act. It would enshrine abortion rights into federal law. She spoke to ACT TV.
I want to make sure every woman in every state has access to an abortion as the way it was for the past 50 years. And I have my bill, the Women's Health Protection Act, which would do exactly that. It passed out of the House, but it's stuck in the Senate. We just need 2 votes to end the filibuster and vote the Women's Health Protection Act in. That's how close we are.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden said he would support an exception to the Senate filibuster to protect abortion access. Biden also said he would be meeting with the state's pro-choice governors today and would make announcements then about what more his administration may do.
I'm going to be talking to the governors as to what actions they think I should be taking as well. And but the most important thing to be clear about is we have to change. I believe we have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law, and the way to do that is to make sure the Congress votes to do that. And if the filibuster gets in the way, it's like voting rights. It should be we provide an exception for this, require an exception to the filibuster for this action to deal with the Supreme Court decision.
Biden also denounced what he called the outrageous behavior of the Supreme Court in overruling not only Roe v. Wade, but essentially challenging the right to privacy, he said. The president has reportedly struck a deal with Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to nominate an anti-abortion lawyer, Chad Meredith, to a lifetime federal judgeship in Kentucky. Kentucky Congressman Democrat John Yarmouth slammed the agreement in a statement, saying the last thing we need is another extremist on the bench. At least 21 are dead in Ukraine, including 2 children after Russian missiles hit residential buildings near the port city of Odessa, according to Ukrainian authorities. President Volodymyr Zelensky commemorated the dead today. His comments were translated by Al Jazeera.
In order for Ukrainian mornings not to start so tragically as it started today with missile strikes at Odessa and Odessa region, today's morning started with a lot of victims. We want mornings of Ukrainians to become as peaceful as the mornings of each European capital in the 21st century.
It comes after Russian forces withdrew from Snake Island in the Black Sea Thursday as a gesture. The withdrawal initially was seen as lessening the threat to the Odessa region. It also comes as Russia's President Vladimir Putin denied targeting civilians. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden announced another military spending plan for Ukraine of some $800 billion. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.